This could be something quite sensational. That is special. And it's outstanding. What a brilliant strike that is. Oh, yes! Oh, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. What a finish. The season of their dreams.
What a week of weather we've had. A spell of extreme weather.
A red weather alert is active.
We've had further disruption, further snow. Travellers are facing another day of disruption. Motorists are still being warned not to drive unless it's necessary.
That much talked about beast from the east has swept across the country, taking no prisoners. But then the William Hill Scottish Cup takes some stopping as well. 2 quarter-finals played yesterday. Number 3 is here at Fir Park. We're live with Motherwell against Hearts. Stephen Robinson's Motherwell have already been to 1 cup final this season. It would be some achievement to make that a double. And they know beating Hearts today would guarantee a return to Hampden anyway for another semi-final. The last time these two met in the Cup was 10 years ago. A young Ross McCormack's penalty was the only goal of a 4th round replay.
And Motherwell have the breakthrough.
Hearts are enjoying their best Scottish Cup run since winning the competition 6 years ago. And they're a team transformed since Craig Levein stepped back into the hot seat. They've lost only twice in nearly 4 months. And those 2 defeats were at Ibrox and Celtic Park, so Hearts are in some run of form at the moment, and this promises to be closely fought. Motherwell against Hearts for a place in the semi-finals, live on the BBC. Welcome to you from our cosy little studio beside the Fir Park playing surface. Maybe a little bit too cosy, to be honest, when we first stepped in. And these two have been flinging off the layers of thermals, and you'll see a little bit of condensation on the glass, which might have something to do with the hot air that's being spouted in the course of this show as well. Stephen Thompson, Michael Stewart, and a massive Hearts turnout behind us here, Michael.
Impressive.
They've sold out their 4,800 allocation.
It's impressive, isn't it? I think, you know, what we're led to believe is there's going to be more Hearts fans here than Motherwell fans. So it just goes to show you the level of support that Hearts have got. They're a massive club, and as we heard there, the furthest they've gone in the competition since they won it 6 years ago. So it's a good opportunity for Hearts to get into a semi-final, but it's going to be a very, very tight and difficult game here at Fir Park.
It's quite clear from the match programme how Motherwell feel about this. We've been to Hampden this season. We want to go again. Stephen, some incentive, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, they did so well to get to the League Cup final, and even within the final itself, I thought they played very, very well. They're in confident mood. They've won 3 of their last 4 games, keeping 3 clean sheets. Their home form has been generally good this season, but like Michael says, I don't think there's an awful lot between the sides.
Motherwell and Hearts both have special Scottish Cup memories. It was 27 years ago that Motherwell won the competition, and Hearts have taken the trophy back to the capital 3 times since then. Which of them, I wonder, is heading for this season's semi-finals? Chris McLaughlin has been talking to Craig Levein, and firstly, Stephen Robinson.
Stephen, it's the same 11 who defeated Dundee last week. I'm assuming that was a fairly easy decision to make.
Yeah, it was. We didn't play particularly well against Dundee, if I'm honest, but our recent form, we've won 5 out of 9 since we came back from the break, so there's no need for any real radical changes, but we have got boys chomping at the bit to get on from the bench. What
do you expect today? It has been nip and tuck between the sides most of the season. You expect it to be tight again today? Yeah, it will be. It's been nothing in the sides. We beat them here, they beat us, and then we drew in the last minute there. So it's been down to a set player and individual error at times. So there won't be a lot between the sides. They'll be organised. Craig always has them organised, but we'll be up for the battle. You've been to 1 final already this season. How much of a taste has that given you for Hampden? Well, it certainly gives you motivation to get back there again. I've said numerous times it raises the profile of the football club. It raises the profile of individual players. Where they're attracting a lot of attention. So in terms of how big it is for us, it's a huge game for us today in terms of taking the club forward. And there is something special about the Scottish Cup, isn't there? Yeah, the atmosphere, and credit to Hearts, have brought a big crowd down with them as well. Live on TV. So it's a great game to look forward to. Good luck today. Cheers, Chris. Thank you. Craig, a few changes for you this afternoon. I'm assuming most of them forced.
Yeah, some. We've also got one or two players who are playing today who have got little niggles. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we get through without any more problems.
And it's a debut as well for the Canadian Marcus Coutinho. What should we expect from him today?
He's actually been doing very well since he signed for us. Then he had a fairly bad knee injury. He was out for a fairly lengthy period of time, just at the point where he was about to get involved in the first team. So he's been slow to come back from that. He's been out on loan at Berwick and done well there. And he's ready to play.
It's been pretty nip and tuck between both sides this season. Do you expect similar today?
Yeah, I can only say yes, because the games are always tight, and Motherwell have done really well this season. They've got a way of playing that they all understand, and it works for them. And that's been apparent. They've already been at one cup final, and we're coming here aware of their capabilities.
Yeah. Given the feel-good factor that's been around Hearts at times this season, progression in the Scottish Cup would make that worthwhile and special, I suppose, wouldn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's difficult for us to win the league, and until Celtic and Rangers go away to England or something like that, then it's always going to be difficult. So this cup competition is one that we've got a very good history with, and we'd like that to continue.
Craig, thank you. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Craig Levine's team will take a bit of breaking down, you would imagine. What Motherwell will hope, Stephen, is that they can get the ball into the wide areas and supply that penalty box.
It's a definite theme of their play. Generally they go back to front. They're very unapologetic about that. They'll look for a striker and then they'll try and work the ball into wide areas. And interestingly, 2/3 of their goals this season in the league have come from these shaded wide areas. The good thing about them is when they do finally get deliveries into the box, they get numbers in the box. You see here against Ross County, 3 in the box. It gives the wide man options to hit, even if his cross isn't that good. When you've got players in there, it gives you a much better opportunity to score a goal. Here again, you see into the striker's feet. This time Bowman takes it out wide, and they're trying to get into the shaded area that we point out here. And then when it does come into the box again, 3 in the box again. And that's vital, and you give yourself such a better opportunity to score a goal when you've got numbers in there. And the players in the box know that it's coming in. This one, long, they don't win the first ball, but this is another feature of the play. They try and win second balls. So there they are picking up the second ball. Where do they want to put it? Of course, out into this wide area again. And as we see now, 3 men making the box once more. And it's a huge feature of their play. And with Hearts playing a back 3 this afternoon, you would think that we're trying to exploit the gaps in behind the centre halves of Hearts in these areas.
It's always helpful when you get an own goal and defender sticks in the back.
It does help, but there's the man that will be hoping to get that supply from the wide areas, Curtis Main. He scored against Hearts already in a short time at Motherwell, but what a job he had right from the start to try to replace Louis Moult.
Yeah, it was a huge task, but I think I've been impressed with him. He's made an impact. It was always going to be a difficult role to fill. But Louis Moult missed the last couple of games of his career at Motherwell with injury, and they looked short. Curtis Main's come in, and I think he's been an effective player. He's strong, he's physical, he's a platform for Motherwell to get up the park. Where you saw that last clip there against Ross County, and he's going to have a big game today. He's going to have a big game, playing up against the 3 centre backs of Hearts. And it'll be a tough task up there, but he's somebody that I've been impressed with so far.
Yeah, Suter, Hughes and Berrat's a really impressive back 3. No surprise that when the Ian Cathro experiment went badly wrong, Craig Levine in rebuilding built from the back.
Well, you see there's a back 4 in place, and then the 2 guys that were highlighted in the wide areas, they're the wingers. As soon as you think you get through the back line, there's always somebody else in there to fill in and make sure that they don't get breached at the back. This is an instant where there's no structure, there's no setup, but look how quickly Hearts recover. This is up against Motherwell again. Look, they're trying to get into that wide area. 2v2, Hearts closing down its source, making it difficult to throw the ball in, and when they eventually do get a header, there's a defender up tight and making sure they don't get a free header. This is another breakaway against Hearts, but look, as soon as Hibs do break away, the back 3's in place. They don't overcommit. It's very difficult to get in behind and catch Hearts unawares. And this game here today, you see Motherwell, the theme of their game is to try and get into the wide areas. They're going to try and get down the sides of these centre halves. Christoph will probably play on the left hand side, so he's going to have a big role to play. But as we just saw in the Hearts clips, even when you do break and counter on them, they're very well structured and
So
they're difficult to
we're
break
saying
down.
it's going to be 0-0 then, Mikey?
Well,
Motherwell are good at getting into the box, Hearts are good at getting it out of the box. Is
well,
this just a cancel each other out job?
Are you two trying to talk this game
well,
up
I'm thinking
already?
there might well be a suitor today that sticks it in the back of the net like Harry did for Ross County, and Motherwell get an own goal. It's going to be tight, there's no doubt about it, but you're thinking that, you know, as I said, Curtis Main's got a big role to play for Motherwell, and the Hearts back three are going to be difficult to breach. It'll be a tight game.
I think a big miss for the Hearts team is Dimitri Mitchell not making it.
Yeah.
He gives them such athleticism and such a threat down that left-hand side. We've obviously not seen Godinho play. We presume he's going to play in that position today. See if he offers the same threat offensively.
I wonder if Alec McLeish will be here today. The Scotland manager has been taking in quite a few Scottish games, as many as he can of late, and I just wonder as well whether Christophe Berra, who was central to the rebuilding of Craig Levine, might be a centrepiece for the defensive formation that Alec McLeish comes up with.
I'd imagine so. I think Christophe will definitely be in the squad. I would play him. For me, he's been the best defender in Scottish football this season. I know his partner alongside him, John Souttar's, had a lot of plaudits from his manager as well, but I think he's been helped by Christophe so much. You know, having the experienced player beside the inexperienced player. He's come on a lot under Christophe Berra's stewardship beside him at centre half.
This game today, you know, for Christophe, he's got to make sure that the Hearts team are right up for it, because we've said it's going to be tough, it's going to be tight, but it's a massive game for Hearts. You know, there have been an upturn in results since Craig Levine came in, but in the last 5 in the league, they've only won 1. If you add in the league game against, the cup game against St Johnstone, there's an indifferent bit of form in the last 6 games.
So there's different ways of twisting
you know, the last sort of month or so has been a little bit indifferent. My point I'm making is this game's huge, because if they win it, it continues the momentum of progress. If they get knocked out, then all of a sudden it's what else have they got to play for?
Well, and in
the league, they've got this massive game coming up against Hibs next Friday, so this is a huge game to create that, you know, momentum going into that Hibs game.
And not only that, Motherwell and Kilmarnock are breathing down their necks for that 6th spot as well, so there's a lot to, you know, play for Hearts and for Motherwell as well. Motherwell on the cusp of having an absolutely outstanding season. If they get to another semi-final, they're pushing for that top 6 spot. They've already been in one final. It could be a really memorable season for the club.
Is this a day for Nadir Chifchi maybe to show what he's made of? He's been in the wilderness really for the last couple of years. He scored against, I watched him scoring against Partick Thistle here, his only goal so far. This could be the stage, should be the stage really for him to flourish.
Well, it's a great opportunity for him to come and play at Motherwell, and you know, these sorts of games are a perfect opportunity. You know, you've got the live TV cameras here, everybody's watching. It's a perfect setting, a perfect game for him to go out and show what he's capable of. He's definitely a very talented player, but he needs to turn up in these big occasions.
He needs to bring it on a more consistent basis. You know, he's only scored 1 goal since he's came to Motherwell. This is a pivotal moment in his career. He needs to be bringing it on a weekly basis to get his career back on track, and so far I'd say there's been mixed reviews of his performances.
They've got a win each and they've got a draw this season when the two of them have come face to face. If the game in hand is won, there's only a point between them in the Premiership. It all points to a match that isn't going to end 3-0 either way. It's not going to be like that.
Well, it might end 3-3.
Let's hope so. Hopefully it's end.
I prefer that to your 0-0.
That was Tomo's prediction.
No, it wasn't. You know, you look at the forward lines for both teams. You look at Hearts, Naismith and Lafferty. Lafferty's had an excellent season. He leads the line so well, but he's got a great number of goals for Hearts this season as well. Naismith up there beside him. They definitely carry a threat. We've talked about Motherwell's threat. Hopefully we get an end-to-end cup tie.
We'll get the